Happy Monday, everyone. Good evening. Hi, welcome. It's first stream of the week time. Let's catch everyone up on where we are. Last we left off, Dundee United. We played in the Dundee Derby. We drew 2-2 with Dundee at home after a red card early on in the game. The last stream actually was full of red cards. 3 or 4 were dished out in the end and ruined quite a few games for us, but we did actually manage to win one of those. Up tonight, we start off with a visit to Newcastle United in the Europa Conference League, and let's face it, we're not going to win that one. We're going there to enjoy the time and hopefully, not embarrass ourselves too much. Looking at the situation in the Conference League, any points would be well received, but we do face the New Saints TNS in the final game of the league phase. I think that should be enough to see us through to the knockout stages. Let's get on with it. Europe away. Well, that's looking a little laggy on the stream. It's looking absolutely fine on my PC, on my screen here. Hopefully that rights itself soon. But just for those who are struggling to follow along, Newcastle have scored 1 minute and 19 seconds into the game. It feels like we're probably playing against Newcastle, who absolutely demolished Spurs yesterday. And my God, what fun that was to watch. Not if you're a Spurs fan, admittedly, but seeing a team score 5 goals in the first 20 minutes was incredible. Apparently the second fastest ever Premier League 5-0 behind Man City, who did it to Watford 5 years ago. It looks like we're trying to do this in the Conference League now. 2 goals down after 5 minutes, and there's another corner for Newcastle. And oh dear me, Trafford has done what Trafford seems to do in the bigger games. I do wonder if he's got the doesn't like big games trait as well. I might have to look at that. And Newcastle just passing the ball around us as we know they can. And that's a great ball down the right hand side there. And a decent clearance. But we are playing the ball back into trouble. And we've given that away. We've absolutely handed yet another goal to them. That's 3 goals now that we've given to Newcastle. They've not really had to do much work for that. Well, that's disappointing. I always knew we'd lose that game, but to go 4-0, that doesn't feel great. On with the game. So I hope everyone's having a decent start to the week. I know we're only at Monday, but hopefully you've had a fairly decent Monday, and unlike me, didn't get caught in the rain. And we have conceded very early at home to Livingston, a team that hasn't won all season. And as I say, the Football Manager gods have decided I should be their first victim. Right, we're going to go attacking, and we're going to berate the team for allowing such a lowly team as Livingston to score against us. And that will probably backfire, but we've got to try something, haven't we? And our defenders just don't seem to be able to do anything right. And Huggins, who brought in again after sitting him out for a while after his punishment for the numerous bad tackles and red cards he was giving away, looks to have given away a penalty, and there it is. This is Livingston's opportunity to go 2-0 up, and it's exasperating, it really is. Would have been too much to ask for James Trafford to save that one, I think. Well, we've got work to do. Let's make some changes. We've got Iacoviti, who is injured, so he is going to have to come off. Otterson is looking anxious. That's good to know. So he's scared. McGuinness now looks scared as well. So let's bring on Lussey. Oh, we've scored a goal. I've done it again. Have I missed a goal because I'm making substitutions? I hope so. Although this looks like it's gone to VAR. Oh, no, disallowed. Okay, at least I didn't miss the goal. So what happened here? Yep, offside. I mean, if you stand offside, that tends to be what happens. You get called offside. Okay. And then I think we might have to go 2 up top. And throw a little bit of caution to the wind. Oh, that's another offside goal. Yep. No VAR needed for that one. And Cujo now. Is that a penalty? Ref, we having a look at that? No, we are not. Doherty now. Hadland. Obviously, we're very vulnerable at the back, but we are throwing everything forward in the hopes of getting a goal. We've got one back there through Lemeka. Now, referee, we all know that wasn't offside. Let's just let us pick the ball up. I don't know why Lemeka's off celebrating. He should be grabbing that ball and sprinting back towards the penalty, towards the centre spot. And it's another one disallowed. Well, I am flabbergasted. And I'm also not convinced that's offside. The right back there was most definitely keeping Lemeka onside. And, well, we have been robbed by Football Manager in that one. They had 2 shots on target, 2 goals. We absolutely battered them throughout the game and have lost. Okay, we've now got the ball forward, but it's just so scrappy. We've not got that quality at the sort of top end of the field. Even when we do get hold of the ball, we seem to give it away too easily. And I mean, as you've just seen there, when a shot finally does find a way towards the goal, it's never quite at the goal. That's something else we'll need to look at. Maybe we've got a few more players yet before we're a real competitive squad. And we've gone one behind. It just feels like, I don't know if this is nerves. I don't know if we've got 4 players at the back there who are just a bag of nerves, but we are throwing away chances. We are giving away goals because we're not clearing the ball. We're not holding on to the ball when we need to. Now, spraying the ball out to Lemeka, who cuts back and dances around with the ball before laying it off to Hall. Ball back to our centre back, and this is a better move out to Lemeka. Can we make something of this? Huggins crosses it in for Aguila, and that's a goal. Aguila scores the equaliser, and we are back on a level footing. So hopefully we can take this now and go on and complete the job. We're going to encourage the team. We want a second. We desperately need a second, I think. That's a decent ball into the box. Hello, is that a penalty? We've got a penalty here. And it's Shashua who's going to take it. And that's a good penalty. The keeper went the right way, but it was far too powerful for him. And we're 2-1 up. We are close now to completing at least one of our objectives for the season. Okay, let's see if we can keep this one out. That's sprayed. Doherty clears up. Lays off for Trafford, who just hoops it forward despite the instructions to play it to the centre backs. That's just hoofed up, and now we find ourselves in trouble again. And Collins, and that's crossed over, and we've conceded a second goal. And as I've said, we are very vulnerable at the back, and there are some changes that are needed pretty urgently in this squad. He started the season incredibly well, scoring 7 goals in the first 7 or 8 games of the league season, but hasn't really done much since. He has scored one goal, I think, since then. It's just not done the job. But Aguila is there to put away our third goal of the match, third goal of the season. I do think I probably would have been sacked if that were the case. But we are now 3-2 up, and we've managed to really make this difficult for ourselves. We are, or should be, significantly better than the New Saints, but we are really making hard work of it. And the stats tell us that we should be comfortably ahead in this game, but it is a big European night. TNS obviously sniffed the outside chance of qualification for the knockout stages, and so they're throwing everything they possibly can at it, and they're mighty close to being able to pull it off. As they lump the ball forward there for Taylor, but Graham deals with it well. Doherty out to Hall. And a big sweeping ball out to Aguilar, who has done quite well today. That's a great ball for Shashua. And that's 4. And that has surely secured our qualification into the knockout rounds. Surely that's enough. Aguilar has the ball. Big lump forward for Andrucci. And that's 5. And we can start to relax now. We've earned this one. We made it look very difficult to start with, going behind and letting them equalise, bring it back to 2-2. But we have since turned on the style, and I think thoroughly deserved this. We have been the better team, at least going forward. Defensively, we are a mess. Defensively, we've got nothing to stop them. We don't soak up pressure at all. And that's something we'll need to work on. There will be changes in January as we look to try to strengthen that back line. I do think a first choice right back and potentially even a centre back or two is needed. And that is 6 if that's not. No, that's offside. That is offside. And let's just see out this game. Last 20 seconds. We are still on the attacking mentality. Let's just change that back to positive. It won't come in time for before the full time whistle, but why not? And this is what I mean. We are so shockingly permeable. We just let everything through at the back. Nothing more than a big lump up forward from the goalkeeper, and we still give them an opportunity at goal from it. Definite changes needed. Ross Graham might be one of the better players at the side, but I think he needs more help alongside him, both on the sort of wide positions in defence and in the centre. He needs a better partner. McLennan will get there, but he is only 18, and we're putting a lot of pressure on him to be our first choice centre back. And Ross County get the first highlights. It's headed away, and Andrucci just carelessly knocks it forward, and Ross County recover the ball. But Lumeka steals it and loses it immediately. A lot of that ping pong kind of happens, and we've conceded again in a terrible, terrible fashion, just not stopping the cross. I don't think this was offside. It certainly didn't look it to me, and that is 1-0 to Ross County. And as you can see, our fullbacks just absolutely nowhere to be seen. Centre backs don't close down, and Doug Tharm here just second to react to that, and we are 1-0 down, and quite deservedly so. We haven't shown anything so far. Can we atone for our mistakes? We have the ball with Otterson, who charges forward and then passes all the way back to the centre line. Frame now loses the ball too easy, and Ross County can now build their own attack as they stretch us wide. Incredible for a diamond midfield to stretch us this far wide, and we've conceded a second. Oh, this is as frustrating as it gets, watching us just self-destruct time and time again. down. I am starting to wonder whether it's a change of goalkeeper that's required here. James Trafford just hasn't shown anything of late, other than one game where he pulled off 2 incredible penalty saves. Outside of that, he just seems to be a disaster. And Drucci now with a chance to get one back, and that's a very good finish. We've got to go attacking and try to put the pressure back on Ross County. Let's go and get a second, boys. Let's get that ball forward quickly. Okay, so Ross County have the ball, and it's a big lump forward. We do capture the ball. McGuinness now. McPherson. We've pressed forward in numbers. Lameka. Good ball across for Andrucci, and we have the equaliser. As bad as we are at the back, we do seem to be able to get forward and score goals. And here we are in injury time. Graham now with the ball at the back for us. Frame plays it forward to Vale. Through for Lussey, and it just felt like that should have been the goal. It was a great opportunity. Lussey was through 12 yards out. Goal beckoned him, and he puts it wide somehow. Well, let me know what you do to try and turn this around. And Trafford's done it again. Once again, it's James Trafford. I'm beginning to wonder whether it's really the centre backs or the full backs that are to blame. That's incredibly poor. I mean, now full backs don't pick up the run here, but for James Trafford to come and not jump for the ball, just simply slide in front of the striker like that, it's horrendous, isn't it? A goalkeeper at this level should not be that poor at decision making. I think goalkeeper is the position we need to look for. I think that has changed my priorities. Can Shashua get us one back? Yes, he can. So going forward, we show once again we have the ability. I mean, referee, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. I told you don't want to do this. It was definitely a legitimate goal. Otterson does brilliantly there to feed it over to Shashua, and he just smashes it. I'm not really sure who was being looked at for offside there, but it's back to 1-1, and we have fairly quickly undone the damage that James Trafford has done to us. I did think it was too good to be true. We sold Brian Kinnear for £8 million and then managed to get a replacement for 300,000, who, at least according to my scouts, was just as good. And then Hassan Drucci got us through. Otterson's got the second. That's the response we wanted to see. It's a lovely ball over the top there from Shashua once again, who's just bossing the game so far. Andrucci rounds the keeper beautifully and unselfishly slides it back to Otterson to give him the easiest of finishes. And we have taken the lead with just 2 shots on target so far. Good efficiency from us. Once again, we're dominating the ball. This vertical tick-attacker is exactly the style of play if you want to keep hold of the ball but still get the ball forward. It's certainly one that I've come to favour in this year. In this year's FM. Last year, I think it was very much gegenpress, exhausted the players, and I think this year more so than any others, it takes too much of a toll. I think it's not something you can use week in, week out. We've got another penalty. I think it's the first penalty of the season. It's not the first penalty of the season. Be quiet, Adam. But Shashua has put it away, and that's his second goal of the game, and he is turning on the style. He's shown himself to be an incredibly good signing for us. He had a fairly convincing start to his Dundee United career, but in the last month or so, he has become a key player and pretty much the first name on my team sheet. Well, it's a lovely ball through for Andrucci. I don't think he was offside. There's no flag gone up, and we do have a corner. But we do show some signs of ability going forward. We are so weak at the back, and I'm now fairly convinced it's down to the goalkeeper, who I'm actually going to tell him I'm quite upset with, because we've seen too much of that. Rangers are managerless, are they? I wasn't aware of that. Why did no one tell me this? Well, let's see if we can pile on the pressure then. The question is this a job that we'd want to apply for? Is it one that we'd even be considered for? So, 3-star reputation for us. Rangers as a club have 3.5-star reputation. It certainly feels like it's within our capability to get that job. We're certainly not going to be the favourites, and I'm sure Rangers will be looking for someone with proven title winning pedigree. But it's certainly interesting, isn't it? Who's the favourite for that? Ian Viggers. Manager at Ross County. Now that's interesting. So less of a reputation than we have. Now Rangers could very much be the team that we really start to build championship winning and European competition winning pedigree with. They do play an awful defensive 7 defenders, really. Realistically, there's 7 players who are defending the goal. 1 striker, wingers. We'd have to make quite a few changes there. We'd have to adapt them to my style of play. But that's an interesting one. Let's apply. And we've got an interview just before our game with Rangers. Well, I don't know if there are some mind games at work here, but let's go and interview for the Rangers job, shall we? Well, I'm not convinced I'm getting that job, but let's see how it goes. No, I'm not favourite. It's still Ian Viggers. So media have noticed the run of form. I might have to have a word with him with him personally about it, because ultimately he has cost us points over at least over the last month, but I think pretty much since the start of the season. I may have to play him just as goalkeeper and see if that takes away some of the decision making that clearly causes him problems. But it would just be a short-term solution, because I do plan to replace him. And Huggins, with a wonderful piece of individual skill there, turning the Rangers defenders inside and out, working with Otterson to open up the opportunity just on the edge of the 6-yard box. And we are 1-0 up at home to Rangers. Rangers with a chance to immediately come back, and James Trafford comes and collects one. When he does that, I'm fairly comfortable, but there are plenty of situations with balls over the top where he's just not up to it. And while he could probably play quite well as a standard goalkeeper, that doesn't fit in with how I like my sides to play. And so he may not be able to remain with us. That's a lovely ball for Andrucci, and that's 2-0. We are flying here against Rangers, and I do hope I'm not doing my chances of getting their job any harm for us. He's the one we need leading our club in the future. Rangers now with a free kick out wide, and um, I don't know what to say about that. The ball's been headed against our crossbar, and our 18-year-old centre back inexplicably just decides to head it into our goal. Right, we're going to encourage them, even though that's a problem. No, that hasn't upset them, thankfully. It often does, but I feel like they needed something to try to keep them firing up in this game. Hall now. Oh, that's a loose ball. And we've got a counter-attack to deal with Shackleton on the right. And it's another long ball over the top, and we just don't know how to deal with it. Unfortunately, Graham has looked all out of sorts so far today. And here is what worries me, the big ball over the top. But we've dealt with that one quite well, with Hadland getting back there, joining the defence. And the ball goes out to Otterson, through for McGuinness. And McGuinness has hit the post via the goalkeeper. And it just doesn't feel like we're going to get that win, does it? We've come so close on a number of occasions there, and that one looks like we really, really would have got it. But we've got another chance now with Val on the left, who puts it into the box, but Rangers clear easily enough and launch their own counter attack. And we've got a man for free through the middle, and that hurts. That hurts. We have thrown away a 2-goal lead. We just haven't finished the chances that have come our way, and despite having a far superior XG, more shots, decent possession, better pass completion, we've gone and lost at home. Okay, all looks like there's some snow on the pitch here as we play against Wraith Rovers, and very much a lower league Scottish ground view that we've got in front of us there. Let's see if we can take advantage of a slightly rotated team and some poor weather to continue Wraith's misery in the Premier League so far this season. As we ping it all the way back to a defender once again. Oh wow, that's a decent finish from George Hall. It was passed into the net from 30 yards out, and I don't know if the keeper was just unsighted or potentially Hall has hit that harder than I imagine. But that's an incredible shot. I mean, look at the swerve on that. The goalkeeper didn't stand a chance even from that distance, and we deal with that quite well. So 4 minutes left to go, and I think we're going to see out this one relatively comfortably. Well, again, 25 shots, 3.36 XG. We're underperforming in terms of scoring goals here. But, well, perhaps we are not looking too hard at a new goalkeeper. Perhaps what we're doing is looking at a new club. So Rangers have asked us for what backroom changes we want to make. So let's go and have a look and see if there's anyone worth taking along with us. Are they going to make me play this one last game against Hibs? No, they are not. Rangers approach Theobald. Interesting that we've got a top division relegation wage drop clause in the contract. I suspect that if we got anywhere near relegation, we would be out on our backsides in no time. And they've quite happily accepted a 9.5k per week wage. Well, we are going to Rangers.